Well, hi guys. Welcome to my Kingdom Knits podcast. I think this is episode 5 or something. But today is going to be kind of short because I have my little one sleeping and I don't think she's going to sleep too much longer. But yeah, I wanted to show you guys some stuff that I actually finished up things today. So I have not one, but 2 finished objects today. So let's start with what I was showing you guys last time. We'll just hop right into it. These, I totally wore them, so they are a little floppy and a little dirty. But these are my mashup of like the Rosina and the, what are they called? Rosina something, okay, sorry. They're the Rosina Rose City Rollers mashup sock. Okay, I have pregnancy brain. As you guys can see, it's like a very real thing. But yeah, okay, so these are the socks. I made these out of hawthorn kettle dye for the heel and the toe, which is like it's the Calumet colorway, and I made this out of the hawthorn spring water multi-colorway. So of course, you gotta have 2 socks because you have 2 feet. These took forever, guys. So I've been working on these since my daughter is 6 months old. My second born was 6 months old and she is now like 15 months. So it took the better part of the year. I just put them down for a long time. So I wanted to show you guys those. I like them for the pattern. Upon wearing the socks, and this is kind of a new thing for me, just learning myself and what I like for yarn, I noticed that since they are like a high twist, and they are, I think more so not because they're a high twist, but because it's a wool and a nylon blend, it's just so hot for me. And I mean, yes, it's summer, but they just don't feel as smushy as I was expecting them to feel. So yes, this yarn is great for socks, but if you're one of those people that like really does not like any kind of, I don't know, just not breathability in your stuff, I would say this is just the tad, like the tiniest little bit not breathable. Totally still worth knitting stuff out of this, like, you know, yarn base, the Hawthorn by Knit Picks, and it's super affordable. I mean, if you're gonna have to knit something that's like fingering weight and you just don't know what to get, this stuff is great. It will last. This stuff is awesome. So yeah, but it's just a little warm. It just feels a little too warm. Yes, it's summer, but it just feels a little too unbreathable for me. So I think I repeated myself like 15 times. So we're just gonna put those down now. But yeah, so those are my Rosalina, and then I mashed that up with like the Rose City Roller Space Sock. And I just used the Rosalina chart, and I just used the stitch count and the heel flap directions and the toe directions for the Rose City Roller. I will put both patterns in the link below. Okay, speaking of socks, I have some more. And actually, I read something recently and it totally shocked me, which I don't know why it should shock me, but it did. Some people don't like making socks. I've read this like in a comment section. People are like, I just hate socks. And I heard someone talking about it at my local yarn shop and I was like, what? How can you hate to do socks? And then it dawned on me, when you're making so many socks in a row, you can start to hate to do socks. But you can hate to do them anyways. But anyways, no, these were really fun to make because I had a time crunch, but it was a fun time crunch because it was for my husband. And these are his first pair of socks, and I made them for his birthday, which is actually tomorrow. But he's so special, so he gets a gift every single day of the week. But yeah, so these are the High Desert socks. They're actually fingering held double, so they go super fast because I did not want to knit something in fingering weight just for a large US 11 foot sized male. So these went quick, even though they felt like they took forever. And I actually started using this method. I'll have to figure out what it's called. But I started weaving in the ends in these socks. So I had like no ends to sew in. I just had the cast on and the toe. Everything else, I knitted it in. I wonder if I can get like some needles and show you guys. We'll just use my fingers. But so when you like slide your right hand needle into your left, you're going to do that, right? Make a knit stitch. So you wrap the yarn around. You're also, or wait, no, I'm sorry, just ignore that. So you're going to do this. You're going to take the tail, wrap it over the needle this way, and then yarn over with your regular yarn, and then just kind of weave the tail in that way. You want to do that for 8 or 10 stitches. I know I described that horrible. I apologize. It's just one of those days, but yeah, I will totally try to figure out what it's called in the link below, but I made these socks and I didn't have to weave in any ends except for the toe and the starting threads, as I should say, because it was 2. So that was so cool, guys. But for these socks, I used remains of the hawthorn. So I have hawthorn here, and in here you can kind of see like hawthorn, and then I did a lighter hawthorn, actually the same colors I used for these socks. So this and a gray is what I held together for right here, and then this is held together with a dark blue, the spring water, for this little stripe. So I used hawthorn, I used some Malabrigo, their fingering weight yarn, just in like a green shade, and I also used like what's it called, Baracco Comfort Sock. It was acrylic nylon blend. It's just honestly what I had on hand, because these socks do require quite a bit of yardage for their main color. It worked out, and I mean, you know, my husband's pretty hard wearing on socks, so it'll work well for him. I probably would never knit socks for myself using that yarn, but that's just for him. There you go, David, your first pair of socks. Happy 26th birthday. 26 and 2 kids and another one on the way. Yeah, we're pregnant. Ta-da! I don't even remember if I said that in my previous videos, but we're pregnant. We're like 12 weeks pregnant right now. So that's really exciting. We don't know what it is yet. It's a little bit early for us to tell, but yeah, so we'll be due like January 9th. And I always joke, I'm like, totally don't believe in multiple gods, but I'm always like, thank the knitting gods, because I have a baby born in like the coldest, one of like, you know, the January 9th, like right smack dab in the middle of like the coldest time of year for us. So I can have them wear lots of pretty knits. So that's exciting. Speaking of pregnancy, I wanted to knit something for myself. Well, not just something, a sweater for myself. And I've never knit myself a sweater before. But I wanted to wear something that, or I wanted to knit something that I could wear during the pregnancy. So I haven't started yet, but I had the yarn come in. I ordered this from Fairylight Fibers because I just saw this kid mohair and silk blend like a long time ago. I just knew this is what I wanted. But this is it, and it's called Onion. So yeah, it's silk and kid mohair, and if you look at the yarn, it's just, oh gosh, it's just like the most beautiful, come on, get into focus. It just has that sheen. So I got this, and I got their Anina 100% superwash merino wool. So I got quite a few little balls of these, and then 3 or so kid mohairs. But what I'm going to be making is the infamous Lovenote sweater. And I was going to do it because I'm just going to like make it like a little bit more cropped so I can wear it over dresses for my baby bump. Yeah, so I'm going to be making that. Hopefully I can start on it soon, because I really want to wear it at least for the last 3 months of my pregnancy, over dresses and stuff, and also postpartum. I just feel like it'd be super easy to nurse your kid in it too. Just flip up the bottom of the sweater, because it has quite a bit of ease, and just nurse like that. So the Lovenote has like a ton of negative, or I mean positive ease. It has about like, really it could be anywhere from like 4 to 10 inches of positive ease. So that's the size, or that's the sweater I'm going to be making. It'll be actually my first sweater for myself. So yeah, I really like this onion yarn. I remember seeing this as a kid and being like, wow, it looks see-through. And I like this color. It'll go really well over like just some black maternity dresses, and you know, just something a little extra. I do really like to wear dresses when I'm pregnant. It's just one piece of clothing. You put it on and it's fine. So yeah, there's my little box of yarn. Da-da-da-da. Okay, so I have one more thing I want to show you guys, and it's just something I picked up. And I kind of want to talk about what happened at the store where I got it. And I won't say the name because I don't ever really want to honestly cause bad business for people unless they're doing something that's like unsafe, totally unprofessional. Like, I'm not usually one to like leave a bad review, but I just wanted to touch on something that's important when you're buying yarn, especially if you're someone that's like, oh no, it's okay, you know, don't mind me. But yeah, that will come. So, but these are the 2 skeins I got. This is actually my first Madtosh that I've ever bought. It is the Madtosh sock or the Madtosh twist, one of the two. I forget the colorways, but this is what they look like. They're nice and pretty. I like the multi on this one, and I got this one to kind of match just in case I was going to do socks. Like little baby socks. I was thinking of doing like a sweater, a hat, baby socks, and baby bloomers all out of this. And just like a ton of baby socks. Because we don't know if it's a boy or a girl. And honestly, I feel like this is, I mean, there's pink in it. We'll probably just make a bunch of baby stuff with it anyway, even if it is a boy, because you know what? I'm going to be a mom of 3, and if I knit something, anything, my kid is going to wear it, because the fact that I even got to knit it with 2 other kids is insane. So, but yeah. Alright, so this is what happened to the store. I feel really bad because it wasn't exactly the store employees' fault, the store owner's fault. But this hank was just super hard to get untangled. So they started to wind it into the cake. And I do like to get my yarn wound into cakes. I don't have a winder myself. I just like to get it done so I can use the yarn right away. I don't like, for some reason, for me, I don't like winding it from a ball. But anyway, that's just what I like. You may like something different, but that's what I like. So I have them wound into cakes. And most stores do it for free, right? And so this one did. But I've known in the past that they've had trouble with their winders. As you can see, it's a little messy. I mean, this is certainly still workable. I know some people are going to be like, you should see my stash. It's like a crazy mess. Stop complaining. Well, you know what, guys? This is how I like my yarn. I like it to be caked. I like it to be uniform in a way that I can use it, because I just paid 30 bucks for this. Like 30 bucks each. So that's 60 bucks. It at least can be wound nicely. So their winder, for a long time, because I've gotten yarn there before, their winders stink. And man, if you are a yarn like store, if you have a local yarn store, or you work in one, or you're the owner in one, I just can't emphasize how important it is to have a winder that works and works well. So yes, we had to spend so much time untwisting the original skein, and they put it on the winder and it just kept, you know, knotting up. And that was like no one's fault, except for it was just how the yarn hank came. But then, guys, this is not the first time they wound it. This is actually the second time that it was wound. And I mean, still, it's okay. But the first time I walked out, this one was okay. I'm like, I can use this. I don't even just want to bother them. I just know when I buy yarn from that store, sadly, it's just not going to be hanked right. It's not going to be caked right. But when I walked out, I tried to just like, I looked at this, I just pulled it out of the bag and I looked at it, and I was just like, and I mean, it was like falling apart. I couldn't even like see where the ends were, the outside end and the inside, and it was, or the, yeah, it was just, it was like yarn barf, and it was all coming undone, and it was put in the bag like that initially. So I walked back in, and I was like, hey guys, no, it's not you, it's the winder, but I cannot use this. And man, when I own a yarn shop one day, unless, I mean, no, not even unless, if anyone buys yarn from my shop, I will gladly cake it to how they want it. Even if that means I have to do it twice. 3 times is a little much. There's not really much you can do once you cake yarn and then re-cake it into another cake from one of the ends. But I am going just to not roll my eyes. I'm not going to puff up. I'm not going to say, oh, you were totally just fiddling with it. You pulled it apart and you brought it back in here, and I don't know what she was doing. You know, they're talking to each other. And at that point, I was just like, excuse me. And I verbally said this because I was like, Just so mad. Like, at that point, it's like, I don't care. It's yarn. It's like just a scheme. But when you start like saying things that, one, are not true, like right in front of me, just disrespectful. Like, oh, you started pulling it apart. I don't know what this lady wants. Like, honey, no. You don't say that to your customers. So I verbally said, look, enough with the disrespect. I did not pull on this yarn. Please recake it so I can use it. And thank you. I will be right back. I'm gonna go, you know, check on my husband and kids because they were in the car waiting. And I kid you not, to like, this hank was just a disaster to start out with. So it took like 20 minutes the first time to cake it. At least 20 minutes. The second time, it took 15. So that's how bad it was caked the first time anyway. But yeah, so anyways, I walked back in the second time, asked him to redo it. Just got so much slack from the employees. And at that point, it's just like, you know, say what you need to say, then whatever. It is just yarn. I know that now. Maybe I just won't shop there as much. Or when I do, because they have the best yarn in town and they have so much of it, I'll just get it caked somewhere else, you know? But whatever. I mean, when I own a yarn store, my employees, you guys are going to have the best cakes in the world. And I'm going to make sure I have a really good winder for you. And I just, you know, because it's something that you buy and it's like very expensive. I mean, most people look at this and be like, especially if they're not a knitter or they don't crochet, they're going to be like 30 bucks. What is wrong with you? You know, how could you spend something like that? But you know what? We do spend this kind of money because it's art. It really is art, especially the indie dyes. I really like them, and it's art that somebody painted this. And it's 100% wool, or you know, whatever blend you want. And it's very, there's a lot more work that goes into it that I think people realize. Now I can hear my little one up. So that's the end of the story. Anyways, yeah, I didn't feel like I should have apologized, but I just said, hey, sorry it was so rough, you know, to like, you know, sorry that scheme was so rough, and I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you for recaking it. I can use this. Granted, yeah, it's a little messy, but I can totally still use this. So, and you know, and then I smiled and I left. So I feel like I handled it so well. It was just not a fun situation all the time. It was not a fun situation all around. Sometimes you just get times like that, and you know, things like that thrown at you in life. You just got to deal with them, and you know, you need to try to do it gracefully, but also stand up for yourself too. You know, some people would be like, what? I would be so mad. And, you know, some people would be like, wow, I can't believe you would even say that. But you know what? For me and for my life, I'm doing great at this whole, like, standing up for myself thing. But I still try to do it gracefully, and I still try to be fair. So if I stand up for myself in front of you, you know you did something wrong. So, yeah. But anyways, we left on a good note. When I go there, I just know I'm not going to get stuff caked well because it's happened before. But yeah, so if you spend the money on your yarn and it's something that you would kind of regret if you left the store and it was like still in a way that you couldn't use, just go ahead and ask for it to be caked, especially if they do it for free or if there's a winder in shop. Oh, I hear my little one. I better go. She is up from her nap. No time, guys. Well, please pray for my poor unfortunate soul while I have to knit this sweater before the baby is due. I mean, if it took me like a whole year to do these socks. Pray for my soul, guys. Okay, well, thank you for watching Kingdom Knits episode 5. Yeah, thanks, guys. So we had the 2 finished objects, the sweater, and then the little yarn story. But I hope you guys have a very wonderful rest of the summer, and also drop below what kind of things you like to knit in the summertime, especially if you live in like warm weathered areas, or if you're not in a warm weathered area but it just gets so hot. I love projects that are small, made out of cotton, and just, or you know, preparation for fall knitting. You can just knit stuff in the fall, but I know nobody wants to knit a blanket in the summertime. That would just be so hot. And I'm sitting here sweating bullets now. So yeah, tell me about your favorite thing to knit in summer, and I will see you guys on the next Kingdom Knits episode. Okay, bye. Love you.